Good evening, ghouls and ghosts. Tonight we're talking about 1990, The Bronx Warriors from 1982 on Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? I think you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. So, 1990 Bronx Warriors is directed by Enzo Di Castellari with a really interesting score by Walter Rizzotti. Jesus Christ, saying that's hard. This stars Vic Morrow, aka the Shark Hunter from Great White, which I will totally make this gentleman watch at some point because shark exploitation is going to happen, man. Probably next year. Yeah. That's all I got. It was shot in 1981, released in 1982, has a follow-up in 1983 called Escape the Bronx, made famous by Mr. Science Theater 3000. So, yeah.
You're going to mention Vic, but not Fred?
Oh, yeah, it's got Fred the Hammer Williamson, not Greg the Hammer Valentine, which I said when we first got together. I went, Greg the Hammer Valentine. I mean, wait, Greg the Hammer, or Fred the Hammer Williamson. I almost did it again. Shit. Now, I wish those two would have fought. That would have been an awesome match. Or in a movie.
We did get confused a lot because I kept asking stuff about the Hammer when I met Fred, but there's a guy in the movie named the Hammer.
That's played by Vic Morrow.
Yeah.
Vic Morrow's the Hammer, not Greg the Hammer. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a fun movie. I read some reviews online about this film, and there are a bunch of 1-star reviews, and they're like, "Oh, it's boring, it's bullshit." I'm like, did you watch the same movie I did? Because every fucking scene, there's amazing shot selection, incredible depth. There's blocking for days. It's really well shot and really strange.
Yes. My favorite shot is where you're looking down the tunnel and the guy's coming through, and when he jumps through a hole, the camera goes down into the hole all in one shot, and then he keeps looking through the tunnel.
It's so fucking cool. It's great. And like, how can you be bored? There's something interesting happening constantly. I think those people are bad people. They just don't like good movies.
I think he has his gray matter in his butt.
Oh, yeah. There's the first gray matter in his butt line of the podcast.
That's my favorite line.
We're talking about making gray matter in your butt t-shirts in the future. Speaking of that, if you are an artist and would love to do art for this channel for the various podcasts and shows, please drop me a line at skinslip@gmail.com. Thank you. I just wanted to put that out there early.
Might as well.
Yeah. We need art. We want art. We want shirts. And I'm willing to pay money, by the way. Good money. So, why don't you take us through this movie if you remember? Because, yeah.
I remember bits and pieces, even though we just watched it.
It's one of those movies. So many crazy things happen. You forget some like rudimentary things like the plot.
Yes. Well, I remember the plot. There's a girl who...
John Steele, thank you so much for that like. I appreciate you sharing. He's watching right now.
Nice.
Thank you.
So it starts out, we see a girl, and she's surrounded by some roller skating hockey players, who we found out later are called the Zombies. That's when Trash shows up and beats him up, saves her. And then it just jumps to who knows when, where she's now apparently Trash's girl.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no sense of time in this movie. It's like a one problem. We're guessing it's just like the Warriors. It just kind of happens, and now they're together. Hey, they're together, just like the Warriors. And Escape from New York, by the way. So
it's almost like it's supposed to be one day, but that seems kind of weird.
Well, it is a movie. It doesn't work in real life. So, yeah, so she escapes into no man's land to avoid her responsibilities as an adult. She doesn't want an adult anymore. So basically what's happened in the Bronx is it's not the post-apocalypse, even though this is often lumped with the post-apocalyptic series. It's actually just a no man's land, kind of like Escape from New York, kind of like The Warriors. It's very much a rip-off of both those movies and a little bit of Road Warrior, of course.
Yeah, such a shithole full of gangs that the police just gave up on it, pretty much.
Except you can totally see random people standing around and cars driving.
That was the best part.
They didn't have permission to shut down New York, so they just went with it. and they shot for 3 weeks in New York, and they got what they got. It's pretty glaring, obvious. There's a bunch of dudes standing in the corner watching the production in the far background.
Although the areas they picked were really run down.
Absolutely. Areas in the Bronx and Brooklyn was where they shot. So, yeah. So she escapes the Bronx to avoid her adulting, runs in with the gang, of course. Some crazy shit happens.
We see a random dead guy staked on a pole.
Oh, that's how the movie opens. That's right. So, as weird as this movie is, it gets weirder. Castellari finds, while he's shooting, a drummer and said, "Hey, you want to be in the film?" "Oh, sure." Puts him in the background of this Viking style funeral for the what was the gang's name called? I don't remember.
I swear, one of the guy's jackets said like "Flying Demon" or something like that.
Okay, I don't remember, but yeah. So like, just randomly, they're driving up to the water where their friend was killed, and there's a guy just drumming away, ignoring everything that's going on.
Yeah. He was fantastic.
Oh yeah, the other gang rolls up, whose name escapes me.
Led by Ogre, read by Fred, leads it.
Yeah, Fred Williamson is the head. The Ogre. It's not even Ogre. It's not a proper name. It's the Ogre. He's always referred to as the Ogre, and he controls this 1940s, 30s, 40s like a dapper flapper gang group. But of course, his chick is like this crazy leathered out chick with a whip for some reason.
Yeah, and some of them randomly have face paint.
Yes, the one guy for sure has face paint. Jesus.
There was another one in the band later that just had like red shit on his face, and his beard was all red.
Oh, that's great.
I'm totally blanking on the name of their group though.
Oh shit.
But they show up, and he presents to Trash a watch, basically. But it's like something to do with the cops. So they're trying to say that guy was a spy. That's why they killed him.
Anti-vigilante squad, or the vigilante. Oh, I forgot what they were called. Something vigilante squad. That's all I remember.
Yeah, they didn't even give that guy like a funeral, so I assume they must have maybe he was with him, so they just left him like staked there.
Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of weird. They did give the other two people a funeral, a very cool funeral too.
I'm gonna jump to a point. I'm not sure how far it is, but we see who they dubbed the mailman, which was Hammer, not Fred Hammer, but
that was after your first favorite quote. What was that favorite quote of yours? It was
something like it's like a pile of shit from his ass or something like that.
Let me find. I'm going to 1990. Oh, is it called 1990 Bronx Warriors? No, it's called. Yeah, it is. It is.
I think that comes after the mailman, because the mailman, who is the Hammer, shows up, kills two of the gang members with a shotgun.
Spoiler: he's the Hammer. That's not known until later, but
yeah.
Spoiler.
he had like a shipping tube with a shotgun in it.
Found it.
Two away.
You fuck! It could be a pile of shit out of someone's asshole.
This is a ridiculous line.
Dude, the quote for the gray matter in your butt's not in the fucking trivia in the quote section of the IMDb. I gotta fix that shit.
That's like the best quote in the movie.
But yeah, fuck that shit.
He blows away two members. There's kind of a shootout a little bit. Mostly him, because I don't think the other ones had guns. And he leaves a ring.
For another gang.
Yes. The Ogre's gang. It's almost coming to me.
Is it the Ogre's gang?
Yes.
Okay.
We find that out later.
Okay. I missed that part. I have bad memories, so
yeah. See, this is where they're having that discussion where he talks about shit out of someone's ass. Because it's like, it's probably a trick. And the other guy's like, no, we need to go attack him now. And Trash isn't buying that the gang came and shot those two people.
Yeah. Oh, when he shot those two people, he had a shotgun inside a poster tube with a
Yeah.
hole cut in it, so he could like sneak up on them and shoot them.
Some reason I want to say tigers.
Yes, that's what the Tigers. That's right. That is the name of Ogre's gang. The Ogre's gang, the Tigers, led by the Ogre.
Sure.
Right. So, and also, when the first guy gets shot, the girl screamed at the restaurant at the time. It sounds like the guy is screaming badly.
Yeah, because I don't think her mouth was open, but his was wide open at that point, and then she was screaming afterwards. And they were like on some dirty stairways, like about to have sex or something, just in this abandoned building.
You got to be kidding! You got gray matter in your butt. Sorry, I found a site with the quote. That was good enough for me.
You get your gray matter in your butt.
Yep. Can I find this document?
If these people were born and raised in this shitty Bronx, do you think they would even know what gray matter? Like, wouldn't they just say brain?
I suppose.
I read a book, man. It's gray matter
in your butt. Oh man, this movie is just wild. And then, what happens after that?
Yeah, where's it go from there?
Yeah.
Well, I think he escaped in a truck, and that's where we meet Hot Dog.
Right. That's right.
The one leg shorter than the other, which never really came into play.
It's probably just some weird thing about the actor, you know?
Maybe, but they like really focused on it. Like when he got out of the truck, they were showing his foot.
I was like, what? That's so weird.
And like they don't attack him. It's clearly the guy got in the truck with him, but he escapes at some point. And then he looks through the truck, and then he's like, "You happy, piss ant?" Like piss head or something like
piss
that.
Head is piss head.
Piss head.
That's piss head. Oh my god, this fucking movie is so good. I love it.
And it was the more offensive one that he called the other guy.
He called him, was it faghead or something like that?
Bag face.
Fag face, right? Which is something I don't really appreciate, but honestly, yeah, that was fucking. I laughed because it was hilarious. Let's see here. Oh, hey, Nair said he made a YouTube account specifically for this viewing. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
For some reason, I'm blanking on a big chunk.
Yeah.
After the two are dead, they burn them.
I'm pulling up a synopsis.
I believe he wants to talk to Ogre.
Right.
He doesn't believe it.
Ring and that's right. He wants to talk to Ogre. That's right.
And then they run into the tap dancing gang.
Worst gang in the entire movie.
It's ran by a girl that has a soft spot in her heart. Which means like, I heard it was made out of iron. Something like that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so they're trying to make their way to Ogre, and they go through these tunnels. And then I don't think they ever name the gang, but the ones that they're all dirty. I call them trolls.
Yeah, like trolls or zombies or something like that. God.
And during all this, the Hammer's trying to set up.
Oh, the tap dancers. The dancing gang was made up like the Droogs from Clockwork Orange. So.
Yeah. They had the canes, the hat. And they had like weird makeup around their eyes. It almost looked like butterflies.
Looked like Demolition from WWF. Yeah, no one remembers that.
Bright pink colors.
It was ridiculous.
That's all you saw of them too. Was that? And
they got their ass kicked, and that was it. Yeah. Tap dancing gang. Jesus Christ.
So Hammer's trying to like set up this gang war, basically, and he.
So the Manhattan Corporation can reclaim the Bronx.
Yes.
That's the reasoning.
At some point in here, the girl gets kidnapped too by the zombies.
Oh, the name of the trash game is called The Writers.
The Writers.
Yeah.
So that guy just actually had just a real biker jacket on.
Probably.
Flying demons.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably a real gang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because I just remember he had the patches and everything. So he had like a real biker jacket.
So yeah, they meet up with the Hammer. There's a small fight, and then they agree to work together, I believe. And then not the Hammer. Sorry, the Ogre. They meet up with the Ogre, leader of the Tigers, played by Greg. Fuck. Fred Hammer Williamson. For a guy I've met, I can't get his fucking name right. What the fuck, man?
But before the meeting, Hammer shows up in the tunnel and kills one of the Tiger guys with Trash's weapon to set him up.
Trash's weapon. Oh, yes. Jesus.
He throws it in the guy's back, and then he just leaves Trash. And then there's that scene you laughed at where he's like in the tunnel talking to the corporation, and then he just turns around and shoots all those people. With the
zombie guys or troll guys, wherever they are. He just starts shooting them, and then he like turns around and there's one right there, and he shoots him right in the fucking head. Brains go everywhere.
And he's like, nobody tricks the Hammer.
He always calls himself the Hammer. I'm convinced he nicknamed himself, which is no way to make a nickname, by the way. Nicknames happen because someone else named you that. Jesus.
Which that whole scene was kind of pointless. Like, it's obviously he's trying to set up this gang war, but then when Trash meets Ogre, he's like, "It wasn't me. It was this guy." And they're like, "Okay."
It was this guy. That was it. Yeah. Oh God. Some other shit happens, and then
I don't remember his name. The guy with the glasses was working with the hot dog and Hammer.
His name is boop boop.
He had the Nazi jacket on.
Yeah. His name is Ice.
Ice, yes. He goes to the zombie place and he's acting like he's trying to strike a deal, but really he's just trying to steal the girl out of there. Right.
He's trying to just get the girl, and at the same time, he's kind of trying to betray them too. Betray the writers.
Yeah.
And
he's working with Hammer.
And when everything comes to a head, there's a moment when Fred Williamson had to pause for a minute. I almost fucking up again. Fred Williamson shows up in the zombie. Is that called the zombies? You said?
Yes, the
zombies hanging out, right? And you see him with the girl framed up close, him in the back, and the zombies leader in the middle, which is great. Three level like shooting, 3-layer shooting, which is very common like Kurosawa and a lot of like bigger directors, more known directors. And then when it does something cool, it pans right and shows Ice hiding behind a pillar. Such a great shot. I was like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. Also that fight, so Ogre is gonna fight the leader of the zombies, and like he gets surrounded by the zombie gangs, and he says something like, "You're surrounded," and he's like, "But I'm this close to you," and they just start fighting, and he shoves the zombie leader's head through the window and then stabs him like in the back, and then after their leader dies, that's when all of the gang attacks.
It was leader on leader before, that's why. They were fighting. It was like 1-on-1, and then he killed them. They wanted revenge, and that's when that shit happened.
And I pointed it out, but we should point it out that this whole time, Trash is doing nothing while Ogre's destroying all the zombies.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Ice tries to like sneak out of there, and he gets confronted by Hot Dog, and he shoots him, but blanks in the gun.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Which doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because then he just has a knife in his boot and kicks him in the gut and just kills Hot Dog.
That was fucking great. I was like, oh shit. God damn. Boot knife. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, that was really fucking great, man.
And in typical fashion, as we do, I completely blank on how Ice gets killed. Does he get shot in the back? I think he gets shot in the back.
He gets shot, for sure.
Pretty sure he gets shot in the back. And kind of at the same time, this is where Hammer realizes his plan's not working. And he calls in his backup, a bunch of leather-wearing police officers riding horses with flamethrowers, and shit gets really wacky.
It goes off the rails from there, and basically these exterminators just start nuking people.
Yes,
with their flamethrowers.
Which I didn't see till later because I was watching the DVD version, but I didn't notice there was glass in front when they were doing the flamethrower stuff.
Yes, it's very obvious when on the Blu-ray because it looks like the grain texture looks different. You know, the image looks different, and then the fire shoots at it, and you kind of see a double image at the last second before it cuts.
Yeah,
it's not something you'd probably notice on the DVD, honestly. So.
I only noticed it because they kept shooting this one piece of glass repeatedly, and it just started turning black.
It was also they reused the same shot 3 times of them shooting the one guy with fire. That we saw too long and the glass turned black, but it was the same. Like first attack happened like 3 times. The same dude. It's ridiculous.
It's a lot of shots of a guy standing there, fire, and then like a pause, and the guy would turn around and go and grab his face and fall down. It was really delayed. But
John Steele in the chat said, "How about those Morlock-like gang members?" Yeah, we were talking about how I loved when they got shot. They're just ridiculous.
They must have a name.
Nair L Bronx is his username. My favorite part is Trash's fighting stick. Whoa.
Yeah, we pointed out at one point where he's fighting and it bends when he's hitting people in the tunnel. It gets a big bend in it.
Oh God, yeah. I was like, and you even mentioned, I was like, yeah, it's ridiculous. God.
So everyone's dying.
Oh, and the hammer is up in this giant hole up top, like looking down at the whole thing happening, going ha 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 ha. Not even kidding, like 3 shots like that. Just,
yeah, he goes full insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dressed up like M. Bison.
Oh my God, it's in his full leather top outfit. Like,
even his hat was leather.
It's so S&M-y. It's so S&M-y. I can't even.
We didn't even mention, like, before the big thing, my favorite guy, the gray matter in your butt guy, was strung up with a broken wrist and he dies.
Oh, right. Yeah, you were like, that's great effects. I'm like, yeah, because it's 2 inches from the camera and blurry. But no, it actually was good effects. It was just being hard on the movie. So let's talk about Trash's walk for a minute. What was that even?
Like he had a load in his pants, like he shit himself.
Like his underwear is fully up his own ass.
You really see it in that scene early on where the
opening,
the hammer just left.
Yeah, it was actually
they run to the bikes.
First funeral.
Just his little run to get to the bikes.
He walks all goofy. Apparently, that's the reason why he was cast, because he looked ripped, and then I guess a lot of the Hell's Angels gave him a lot of shit for his walk. He had a unique walk, which is why he was cast. And Nair has a point that the director's commentary on this is actually really fucking funny and worth listening to. So
check it out later.
Absolutely. One of the things is Trash, Mark Gregory. Is that his name? Mark Gregory? Yeah, Mark Gregory. No one can find him, in fact. He was in these 2 movies, 1990 Bronx Wears and Escape the Bronx, and then he was in Thunder 1, 2, and 3, and a couple other movies no one gives a shit about. And then he just disappeared. And as soon as the 90s rolled around, he was gone. Nobody knows what happened to him. So that's kind of interesting. But he had a weird walk. Maybe it's because everyone keeps talking about his walk. Maybe he's afraid someone will ask him about his walk.
I mean, that's probably how we'll have to find him. You'll just see something like, oh, that's him. I see that. I know that walk anywhere.
Nair says he walks funny because that's where he hides the stick. Yeah. As John still says, the whole film definitely has a homoerotic undertone. I think it's not necessarily that it was homoerotic undertone, like intentional. I think it's just during that part of the 80s, people were naive as fuck. Because isn't this the same year that Nightmare on Elm Street 2 came out? And that's like one of the really strong overtones of homosexuality, like not even subtext at that point. Like he walks into a gay bar, for fuck's sakes.
We didn't even mention the beach scene.
Oh, where they ride up and throw the ashes into their own faces?
No, where it's him and the girl on the beach.
I don't remember that scene.
Where she's saying she's... Maybe. No, you were there. We were talking about how terrible it was. She's going to leave and go back so they'll stop coming and attacking.
Oh, right.
I'd rather die.
I'd rather die with you than have you go back or some shit like really corny.
all the dialogue was stiff and read
That's
off
'cause
a piece of paper.
It's all dub. It's all cheap dub. Yeah, that's just. It's a
We didn't
fucking
even
thing.
mention the end yet, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, there's this part with Vic Morrow where he talks about getting out in a helicopter, and it's 1 year before he dies in a helicopter accident on the in Twilight Zone the movie, which is mentioned in the back when mentioning Vic Morrow. It's like, holy shit.
So everyone dies, and then Trash shoots the hammer, which is great because he's up there like, I'm immortal, pretty much. And he's like, thwomp, and he's like, ugh, and he does his fall. And you told me not to point it out, but he got shot in the front, and then Trash drags him on the motorcycle with the thing sticking out of his back.
It's so great. And before you can see it at the end, it pauses and the credits roll, so you can't see their fuck up.
The credits roll, and then I said, what happened to all the other, cops? But
they're all dead or killing people still?
You're like, don't worry about it.
Who knows? Maybe they're still around and escaped the Bronx. I guess we'll find out. Oh my god. This is an excellent release. They released New Barbarians, also known as Warriors of the Wasteland, and they released Escape the Bronx, all on Blu-ray. There is, I believe, a 3-part, Enzo G. Castellari and Fabrizio De Angelis in Conversation. Part 1 is on this set, and there's 2 more parts, 1 on each set. So they're meant to be bought together, obviously.
Ooh, scoring the weaponry. That's
sourcing the weaponry. But yeah, that talks all about the rental house that loaned them all the weapons and shit. And they go into it, and he's like talking about it. It's really cool. There's Adventures in the Bronx, interview with Masumi Vanni. I don't know who that Massimo Vanni. I don't know who that is. He's not in the back with a name, so with a thing. So yeah. Oh, Stuntman. Yeah. It's an all-region release, by the way. So if you're in the UK, you too can have a copy of this. So we just got asked, have we ever heard of a movie called South Bronx Heroes? I have not.
I have not either.
South Bronx Heroes. Not that we need any more reference or suggestions. We've got a mile-long list of movies we need to watch.
We probably send multiple links to each other all the time.
I'm going to put this on the suggestion list. This looks pretty bad. Mary Van Peebles is the 3rd listed person on IMDb.
It can't be Ghost Dog, a Detective Tale bad.
Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai?
No.
Oh.
A movie about the dog that dies and its spirit enters a man.
That sounds like a really stupid movie.
Oh, I watched it. It was.
Why?
They even hinted at that he went outside and had sex with a dog. The human did.
Oh, God. South Bronx Heroes. All right. I added it to the list. There we go. We'll watch that one day. Apparently, it's awful. Good. Awful, but great. So, yeah. Here. What else was great about this movie? The score. The score was so good. I want to own the soundtrack. Except that one scene. Weird. What scene was that where the score got all weird and I was like, ew. Is that with the tap dance? I think it was the tap dancers. That's what it was. It was the tap dancing army or gang. Their theme was terrible and awkward, and I never want to hear it again.
There's some random piano stuff too.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but
the movie is great and it looks great. It's just All right. Do you have anything else to add, sir?
I was gonna make another gray matter line, but I won't.
Why not?
I was just gonna say, if you don't like the movie, you get your gray matter in your butt.
There you go. You heard it right here. I give it 2 thumbs up. It is cheese-tastic and so much fun.
I hope the sequel holds up.
Sequel's better, actually.
Nice.
So,
I have not
fun.
seen it.
We will not be watching it soon because next month, in honor of WrestleMania, we are on the road to Wrestling Mania, and we are going to be watching 4 movies with wrestlers in them. I got caught up on that for some reason. and we're going to watch Hell Comes to Frogtown, a movie I seem to watch every fucking year. I watched it last year. I watched it the year before for movie Gangbang. I watched it the year before for a different show. I watch it every year. This is one of my favorites. So
I've never seen it, and I have yet to been able to get somebody to watch it. So I'm excited.
Oh, it's way good. It's surprisingly entertaining. 1990 Bronx wears under the shelf. So that's the plan. Next week we're gonna watch Hell Comes to Frogtown. Here is my Arrow limited edition release. This is the second rarest thing I own in my collection, actually. But I also have the DVD release because it's got the commentary.
Yeah, I got some cheap DVD release at like Big Lots for $3 that came with like DEFCON 4.
I have that release also. I also have this edition, which is one that you should totally get. Even though it's got Hell Comes to Frogtown again. It's got two other movies we should watch. I have this edition of Hell Comes to Frogtown with Grunt, the wrestling movie, and I Like to Hurt People starring Ox Baker. Not Ox Baker, but...
Isn't Ox Baker the guy that killed 2 people in the ring?
I Like to Hurt People was Ox Baker. He's the wrestler guy in Escape from New York. The boxing ring fighter or whatever. That guy. So, yeah. So I guess we're gonna transition from a post-apocalyptic film into a post-apocalyptic, or not post-apocalyptic film, into a post-apocalyptic film with a wrestler. So that'll be fun. So do you have any last words, sir?
No, thanks for watching though.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your viewership every week. If you like the show, go ahead and doobly-doo. There's plenty of links to support. Give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Give us a thumb down if you didn't like it. Leave us a comment when this goes live, and I can actually read it, and it doesn't get deleted by the live stream. And I would love to talk to you about this movie or any other movie if you have any suggestions. And once again, if you are an artist, I have money for you. Come make art for us. Thank you. We'll see you next week. If I can find the stop button. Where is it? There it is.